Hi. As we start this new series, which is just going to be for us, Miami Temple family, I want to start by saying Jesus is in control of the final crisis. I know we're seeing a lot of things that we've never seen before, experiencing things that we've never experienced before, but I want us to start with Jesus is in control. Amen? And so I know many of you are being bombarded with questions from friends and families, as am I. And one of the things I've learned in my years is that when people come at you with all these questions, the mark of the beast, is the vaccine the vaccine? Is the vaccine the mark of the beast? And is the plagues, is COVID-19 one of the plagues? I always talk them down, and I take this opportunity to take them to Jesus. See, let's not make the mistake that was done in the past, thinking that information changes mind. I remember when I was in Texas, I gave a Bible study to a Baptist, and I gave him all the information about the Sabbath being Saturday. And he looked at me and he says, "That's nice." And he says, "But do you want me to leave my ministry? I'm ministering to youth right now, and you want me to leave that so that I can go to your church and worship?" And that's when I realized that God said, "I have sheep and other folds. My responsibility is to plant seed. Your responsibility as we talk about final crisis, as we go into the book of Revelation, it's not for you to convince anybody, okay? So let's just start there. First foundation is take them to Jesus. I have a friend that I'm studying with in Brooklyn, New York, and he had all these questions. So I said, "Do you mind if we study the book of Mark?" And as I take them through the life of Christ, so far we've done this in 11 weeks that we've been in the shutdown. We've studied the Sabbath, we studied the state of the dead, all in the life of Christ. So as we study the book of Revelation, this is more for you. This is for us, so that we can understand where we are, and also to give you some tools in your toolbox. But I don't want you to use this as ammunition, okay? This is for your personal growth. So today's lesson, first thing, Jesus is in control of the final crisis. Deuteronomy chapter 33, verse 27 says, "The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms." A lot of people run away from the book of Revelation and the studies of final crisis because it's scary. I don't want to hear about it. When I was a kid and I used to hear the sermons about the persecution, I used to hear people say, "I hope God puts me to sleep because I don't want to go through that." But see, the reason why this book was written was to leave us an example of how to live. We don't need to be afraid of the final crisis or the book of Revelation. We just need to remember how God was faithful in the past. Remember the story of the Israelites when they were in Egypt. Notice, everything that happened in Egypt will happen again in our future, right? Before they were liberated, the plagues fell. Remember that? The plagues fell and affected Egypt, and it affected everyone at the beginning. But then the last couple of plagues only affected Egypt, not God's people. Keep that in the back of your mind. The other thing, as they finally escaped Egypt, now they're in front of the Red Sea. And now what happens? God made a way. And see, this is where now a lot of people are freaking out. "Oh, now's the time to leave, and we need to leave into the country." Hold on a minute. God will make a way, okay? You pray about it. If God opens a door for you to leave, amen, hallelujah. But I want to remind you that if you're going to leave, it's because you have been faithful in your duty to make disciples here. Don't think if you've never made disciples, if you were never faithful to what God gave you, and you're running away thinking that, okay, I'm safe now, because you have to stand before God one day and he's going to ask you, what did you do with the talent that I gave you? See, that's why Matthew 25 is very important for us to study as we study the book of Revelation. So remember, so now the Israelites, the Red Sea is opened and God delivered them through it. Just as God is going to deliver those of us in the final crisis, God is going to be with us. And so here's the mistake that the Israelites made. Instead of remembering how God was faithful to them, when they went to the wilderness, right? They forgot God. And what did they do? They forced Aaron into making a golden image. Remember that? Yeah, because they thought that, no, well, we want to see something. So they tried to resolve the situation with their own hands because they said, we don't see God. And it's the same thing in the final crisis. A lot of us, if we don't keep our eyes on God, we will try to create our own things. Oh, I'm going to create a bunker. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But no. The other example, as the Israelites were now in the borders of Canaan, Joshua and Caleb said, hey, we can take this land. And what did the Israelites say? No, we can't, because we're like grasshoppers. They're giants. We can never take the land. And that's where some of us are, dealing with final crisis. Oh, the Sunday law and the Spirit of God is going to depart from the earth and we're not going to have intercession. Oh no, the day of Jacob is coming and it's going to be a mental anguish. And we have created this scenario where we are paralyzed, just like the Israelites. Can I remind you two things as we're studying, as we're beginning our journey? One, Jesus will be with us. Hebrews chapter 13 verse 5 says, I will never leave you nor forsake you. That's number one. Number two, the second thing, is that apart from Jesus, you and I can do nothing. And so as we begin our journey in our study of the final crisis, I want you to understand that Jesus is in control. Number two, God said, I will never leave you nor forsake you. And number three, that he said, apart from Jesus, you and I can do nothing. So I'll see you tomorrow as I continue this journey with you on Jesus and the final crisis as we study from my yellow chair. God bless you. See you tomorrow.